little. I would love to that here as well. No, I really love that idea.
It's certainly
cool.
It certainly immediately affected me so that I can talk freely. You know.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes, but not much. Remember.
No, I'm only going to drink it. I may fill it up a little more, but I won't drink anymore because that's what happened with Ronnie. God.
Yeah, you want to do that.
I actually last year I was in Taiwan, and for me it was quite interesting because they have a totally different point of view on Cheng Man Ching. And I went to the museum, met other people, and the movie you made with Barry is only about Cheng Man Ching in New York, right? Why did you made this movie? Why? What was your purpose?
Cheng Man Ching told us that we needed to get this around as much as possible, get it as many places as possible. Many people should learn this for their health and longevity. So Barry, I don't remember if I suggested it or he did, but he was a student of mine, is a student of mine, and Maggie's. And he said, let's make a movie about Cheng Man Ching. So what was possible? Well, we can't go to Taiwan or can't do much with it if we went to Taiwan. We're in New York, and in New York, what do we have? We have his people who used to study with him. So we had to interview them and talk about Cheng Man Ching in New York, and that was given to us as the only real possibility. So I got in touch with as many of the students that I could and said, let's do this, and most of them said yes, and a few, one or two said no. Ben Lowe said no. Later on he changed his mind, but it was too late to do it. So it became about the New York students. And William Chen wasn't a student, so we did interview him, but we decided that the New York students, whoever they were, and that became the subject of it. And that was a good choice because each person that was interviewed showed such a reverence and such a love for that man that many people had tears in their eyes at the end of watching this, that had studied there, certainly, you know. And it really showed the effect that he had. It wasn't like many of the gurus, the effect they had on people was it made them subjugated to it, made them like kowtow. It made them, and he didn't do that. He didn't want people to be bowing down to him. He wanted us to just learn this from him, you know, and that was really good. Unlike, because I had gone to a few other things, and there was always a power struggle going on. That they were higher, and you were going to learn from them, and there were special people. He was, but he didn't act like that because that wouldn't have worked as well. And so I did this.
May I ask, because this is quite, to me, like personally, very interesting point. Because some people, you know, they call themselves masters, some people, you know, grandmaster, back and forth and all of that. So what do you think about this hierarchy?
Hierarchy.
Sorry for my English.
No, that's a tough one.
Okay. What do you think about this whole lineage stuff and?
Oh, okay, I got it. So the lineage system is powerful. A master, which is just someone who has completely absorbed something. It's like a PhD. It's somebody who has learned as much as possible of the discipline, to the point where they're able to teach it and possibly even write about it cogently, intelligently. That's a master in English is just somebody who teaches. That's a simple idea. And like William calls anybody who has a school master. You know, it's not a big deal. In fact, Cheng Man Ching didn't even call himself a master because he was a professor. That to him was higher than a master. But the lineage system. So if they want to pass down and they want their lineage to continue what they do, they want what they do to be the world to see. And so they choose one or possibly two or three gifted students, and this is my lineage student, and they want to teach them, give them everything they can so that they continue.
Do you think this works? Because my theory is a little like if the master passes away, the way he did it is gone. So, you know, like there might be something left, but for example, if I look at, I know quite some Cheng Man Ching students, and they are all totally different. Totally.
So, this lineage system works as well as the master is a master and the student is a student. What very often happens is that students will, at some point, in 3 years or 5 years or 10 years or something, say, okay, I'm going to go now and open my own school and teach, and I'm the master now. And they either haven't got it all, or they've got it, but they're going to change it, so they make it a special thing that they do, and all of that is a corruption and a pollution. So, yeah, once in a while, that lineage system works, but very rarely, because it's so difficult to get that information from somebody else, and it's very difficult then to make it theirs and pass it on. In China, they had a tradition of that lineage system. But in the rest of the world, they don't. And so trying to do it isn't so easy, you know. So they do the best they can. There are some people, I've met many people who have gone against that tradition by saying, okay, now they'll call it a new name and they're going to do this, and it's usually a disaster. One lady in New York, after 3 years, she left. She stopped studying and she started teaching. Right away. She was given bad eye, there's a name, what's the name? Exercise or something, I forget the name. She was like, no. And and later on, years later, she called me and she wanted me to come and help her do something. And I went, and she wasn't even relaxed. She never even got that much. Absolutely unrelaxed. So, you're taking a big chance when you split from the master and think that you've gotten it all.
Yeah, well, anyway, I'm a student of William C.C. Chen for like 25, whatever, even more years, and I don't feel like I got all.
I don't either. That's an interesting phenomenon. Tai Chi started off with 13 movements, supposedly. And as time went on, they added until now some of them are 180 movements long. At the same time they did that, each master would keep saying, I didn't get it as much as my master was much better, so it seemed to be diluted. That didn't make sense at all. And if it did, then we should go back to the 13 movements instead of diluting it. But I don't believe that. I think that many people did do as well as their masters, but by the time the master was dead for 20 years, then they still think they weren't as good. Some of them probably were or are. But I'm not sure about that, you know. Because the workout, the way that people worked out then and the way they work out now is not quite the same, especially in America. Everybody wants immediate gratification.
Yeah.
They want to learn something. So what I've been doing now is I made a 21 form because everybody keeps making a shorter form, and I made it because in America, and especially in New York, people want to get something right away. They want to have it. So I say, well, it is a 21 movement form, and then they do that and they have something. And if they're really into it and they want to go on, then I teach them the 37 movement form. And if they want to go on past that, I send them to William or somebody else who wants to do that.
Yeah.